Hey, hi guys, welcome back. All right, so this is going to be a today's topic video. It is going to be for February the 2nd, and at the end of this video, I'll be pulling a card for our last winner of the single card pull, the way I was doing it in January, and that winner is Peanut Butter Kissable. And so stick around to the end for that pull, my dear, if that is your name. And now let's get into this storytelling for whatever the message is going to be for the 2nd of February. So 2-2. So I feel like this could be a pretty meaningful one, a pretty important one, just because it is 2-2. So with that in mind, I've got two decks I want to use specifically. And this first deck has two meanings on each card already. We have the Two of Coins, which then goes to the Three of Coins. And we have the Wheel of Fortune going to the Justice. So we definitely see two in both places, right? And both of them have to do with balance ultimately. The time for balance is now, perhaps on February the 2nd. We could have somebody who's very focused on cooperating. Maybe that is what's required to make something fair. This could be a person who wants to reach out, they want to explain something, they want to treat someone like an equal. This could be, you notice that we are looking at a card that has a lot to do with the woman suffragette. So it could just be talking about someone who wants to make sure that they give equality. It doesn't have to be someone who wants to give equality specifically to feminines. It could be that. It could be someone who was not being very balanced. And it could be something like that, a gender related imbalance or inequality. But I don't want to get hung up on that part because it's not what stands out to me the most. Not that isn't important, but equality as a whole is important. I think it's always important, right? So with that in mind, this is a more, instead of like a on the grand scale, I feel like this is going to be a very specific individual's interaction with one other person. Why do I say that? Because it's 2-2. So I'm going to say this is not going to be on the grand scale. I'm going to say this is one character's journey where on the 2nd of February, they want to make things right. They want to connect. They want to look at, or they're being made aware that they were very unfair to a particular person, and they need to, that maybe they were not collaborative. Maybe it was like my way or the highway. One person dealt with another person in this situation, and there was a lack of equality there, and they're aware of it. Five of Wands going to the Six of Wands. These two should have been equals. They should have had each other's back. Maybe someone felt like she was their adversary instead of their lover or their friend. And maybe that was because they wanted to fight with her because she already, in their eyes, had gained her crown and they were still working on getting theirs. So we could have, like in a romantic context, we could have had someone who should have been an ally and a friend. They should have felt like, you're my partner, and as my partner, I'm not in competition with you. But they may not have felt that way. Why? Because they needed to feel, they had a sense in their own mind that they were less than. So now it becomes the inequality is that they feel at a disadvantage. So they're focusing on this concept that you're unfair. So now you're my enemy. You're the person I'm going to be in competition with. It's like, wait a minute. No, we're supposed to have each other's back. I don't know why a lead character here felt like they were somehow less than. Could have been a Libra, it doesn't have to be. We have a Five of Swords going to a Six of Swords. They're leaving that behind, but once upon a time they were so hostile. They were so combative with the very person that actually wanted to have their back. So they might have really sabotaged a connection, and they are realizing that, and they're kind of like, this is somebody almost like walking into the water after the battle to cleanse themselves. They need to, it's like I got that awesome song, Take Me to the River, by Leon Bridges. Love that song. We got the Fool to the Magician. And we got the Two of Cups going to the Three of Cups. Any way we slice it, we have a character that is ready to take this leap. They finally stopped being combative. There's something about on the 2nd, they see how their actions were, and what those actions were yielding. They looked at a partner as an enemy or as a competitor. That has all changed. Something has happened where on the second they finally feel like they got crowned, they finally feel good enough in themselves, and now they're like, oh my God, I fought my person, the person who wanted to have my back. I fought them tooth and nail. Oh man. Okay, first I got to wash myself clean of that whole mentality. They might have just been in combat mode all the time. Maybe every person in their life that had been close to them, maybe they came from a highly competitive like family, so they only knew competition. Sometimes parents will be in competition with their own kids. Um, there can be really unhealthy, really toxic, environments, and then maybe they were unfortunately, like steeped in an environment where everything was all about like, oh, you're not good enough. And then they meet a lover and they don't know how to turn off that energy of, oh, you're better than me. So now I need to be better than you. And so I'm going to try to cut you down to size, or I'm going to try to win, instead of realizing, wait a second, you're my ally. You're not here to compete with me. You're the person who wants to just be there for me. I don't think they knew how to have somebody be there for them. Looking at people as a competitor, that's a big scar, and they are finally washing that wound clean. And at this point, with the Fool card going to the Magician, all this character wants to do is take this leap of faith to go ahead and they're hoping they can manifest a union or reunion with their Two of Cups. But their vision is not just to come back in. Now they want this happy union. They want to be the 50% of a relationship, and they really feel like they can be a 50% now. In the past, it was like you're like 80% and I'm only 20. So I'm in competition with you. But that was all their mindset. This is an interesting one because they treated somebody unfairly, but it's because they first themselves set the precedence in their mind that this is an unfair thing and I got to fight, I got to battle. You're my competitor because you're better than me, but I want to be with you. Oh man, that's a big conundrum, isn't it? Um, we've seen stories like that before, for sure. Give me another perspective, maybe on this whole situation, and then we'll go to the whoever this person is that they were in competition with, and we'll talk about them next. But right now, the overarching, like kind of like the view, the big scope is the devil. So was this toxic? Oh heck yeah. Nine of Swords. It was toxic. This person's, they had so much stress. This is not to be like, oh, poor them. The only reason they were so, competitive and hostile was because they were under a lot of stress. But in reality, that is still what we see. So I'm not trying to, you know, create a space where we can feel super bad for them. But was it toxic behavior? Yeah, but it was born of incredible amount of worry and fear. We have the Eight of Swords in the reverse. We have the Queen of Wands upright. I gotta say, the fact that they had this much toxicity, like all of their thoughts were tainted and colored by the idea of this stress that I'm not enough. I'm not enough. I'm not enough. And unless they could free themselves from that mindset, I think the individual that they dealt with could have been a Queen of Wands, somebody who simply they are somebody who probably does hold themselves to like a high standard, but they also feel confident in themselves. But dealing with this character might have damn near melted the roses right off of her headpiece, right? We see all this drippy, oozing, like she used to have, roses and stuff like that adorning her head. And instead, she cried so much over this person. See a ton of tears. But we also see like it almost melted like her emotions. I think seeing somebody be combative, seeing someone that they only wanted to love consistently being submerged in these, I think it kind of made this person act a little crazy. Like it was kind of nonsense. Like anything she said, they would see as a hostile thing or an attack, because they were constantly operating from this place of you're better than me. You know you're better than me. So if she said anything at all, it was like instantly they would look for and find some kind of an insult where there was none. And I think it just really made her cry. I think that it kind of melted like her. She just looks so sad. She still is upright. It didn't ruin her self esteem per se, but she realized I can't be stuck on this person either because everything is going to be stressful and I'm going to become toxic if I keep trying to be a friend to someone. It's like who keeps acting feral, you know. They want to attack. They don't see me as someone. They see everything through this lens of toxicity and stress and fear, and she probably knew all this, but it really hurt. This definitely made her cry a lot. So that is a segue to just talk about where is she at right now. I mean, they've made some significant changes. We see on the second they want to set things right, and maybe it's because 2-2 is that balanced energy. Maybe that's the energy flow in general is balance, and so now they're able to say I want to be in balance with her. But where is she at right now on the second? The Emperor. So she is either already with someone who's wonderful or she wants to be with someone who's wonderful. We have a 10 of swords. We have the sun. I would say she's in a mindset right now of, you know what, I really realize I want someone that I feel safe with. I want someone that I admire and they know that I admire them. You notice that we have like uh the emperor lion and we have the empress lioness here. So we actually have a matched pair and little kiddos, little lion cubs out there in the grass. There's something here where I think she's making a determination that she herself, from this point forward, she won't deal with anyone that's not a full blown emperor. Any person that she interacts with has to be that confident in themselves. She's put an end to relationships that will become shipwrecks. If she meets somebody from here on out and they come across as this, she won't touch it with a 10-foot pole. That's what I would say. And she herself has probably also learned a lot about, you know, I don't want to set myself up for miserable experiences. I really want to be happy. Relationships should be happy. The sun card, if there is an emperor who comes into her world, she will say yes, especially on the second. She is primed and ready for that. If somebody comes in strong, confident, she will say yes to them. Yes, I want to try this with you. Yes, I want to get to know you. I don't think she's got it in her head about like what an emperor has to look like or what kind of career they have to have or any of that. I think the list of what she wants is somebody who's just confident, knows who they are, is not there to create drama and, you know, arguments. I think, listen, if this character who wants her back, this person who used to be a competitor for her, if they do not show up on the second, she's going to meet an emperor on the second. They're going to miss her shot with her. There is something big happening on the second about relationships in this story. If they don't hot foot it directly to her, they will miss out on her because she's primed and ready to meet an emperor and to be happy. And I think that energy, it's like this is the energy of connections. The lovers, the inspiration of pentacles. Lovers can be a card of choice. It could, and we got two little lines coming from her heart. She's sending out the energy of I'm ready for the right person, the right thing. They need to hurry. They better get to her first, because whoever gets to her first is going to be the one. There could be, she's calling in an emperor, which could mean if she's sending out those pheromones, she could attract a brand new person, someone she's never met, who could be an emperor. And if by chance she meets that person on the second before she hears from this person, it's game over. She's going to go with the first person, not because it's like, oh, anyone will do. No, it's going to be a Two of Cups or an emperor. Hopefully the Two of Cups that shows up, or the emperor that shows up, is that Two of Cups. If they've really healed, if they really want to set things right with her, they cannot afford to delay even a second, because there's something here, a light bulb moment, a sudden new beginning. She's writing a new chapter in a book starting on the second with and it doesn't have to be her. This could be same sex couples, could be reverse gender roles. Please be mindful, I do not read for genders, but this storyline has no breathing space. This is, you best get busy, get there, because you're going to miss out on her. You know what you want to set right with her. Don't delay even a second. Get going, because there's someone else coming in for her. Life force energy is in the reverse. 8 of Cups is upright. If they delay at all and say, I don't know though, that'll be the end of this. She'll cut the tie completely. They won't have a way back to her. And when she cuts that tie energetically, it'll be like the lifeline, the thing that they used to, like the roadmap that they used to know how to get back to her. They won't know how to find her again, whatever that means. If they don't have the energy to pursue this on the second, then that's it. It's over. It's interesting how, and this will be over forever. Even if it was a 2 of Cups, it won't be something that's happening in this lifetime, because she's ready for a real emperor. And they have to, if they say that they're ready to take that leap of faith, they can't afford to procrastinate. Now, will they do it? Remember, these are fictional stories about fictional characters. So please don't think, oh my gosh, I have to do this. No. 10 of Pentacles in the reverse. We keep getting cards that say, if a character is only lip service, if they really aren't ready to build with her, then there is no point in them coming forward. If they're only in the place where they're like, oh, finally, I want to set things right with her. I don't want to be a competitor for her anymore. I'm going to take a leap of faith toward her because I want all this great stuff, but it's all just in the fantasy concept. The magician can be fantasy, but the fool says, I'm ready to go toward her. But it could be only up here they start to envision being with her. There's something about their journey could come to an end. Their possibility of building something tangible could come to an end, because in truth, and we have to keep this on the table until we see otherwise, in truth, this character who used to be looking at her as a competitor, even if they don't anymore, and even if they want to set things right, but they kind of only live it out in their fantasy. If they don't have what it takes to make a fantasy become a reality, to put in the real time and effort, then it is better to let this go, because the fantasy could go on and on and on and on. Just like first they were under the impression she was a competitor, and that was a fantasy too, right? There was no reason to be hostile towards someone who only wants to give you love. But if in their mind, that's how they see it, maybe this person can get lost in fantasies, both good and bad. So how long do we want to let her sit over here, this Queen of Wands, and not have an emperor in the 3D world? She's ready for the 3D world. She's ready to be happy in the now. And I think that's why it's like, if it's not going to be them, then this is the departing point. Even though they may say, she's my 2 of Cups, I dream of being back with her. But it's like they can envision it, and they're just as happy with the mental aspect. This person could have a very lively imagination, and they're not going to take action in the real world. So she's going to be gone because she's ready for action in the real world. And I think that's the best way to say this. She's ready for real world action that's positive and loving and warm. What happens for each of them then? Let's wrap this up. We have got Princess of Swords. We've got 2 of Pentacles. What's happening on their side? Hold on. We've got the Hanged Man, delays, the Hierophant, the 7 of Swords, the Chariot, the 10 of Cups, the 7 of Cups, and the Prince of Wands. I'm going to leave it exactly as I said it. They have a fantasy about how this is all going to go, but they never get around to taking action, but they dream of it. They think about it. I'm going to be with her, but they're lying to themselves about the action they'll take. They're only still operating like a knight. Indecisive. They're back and forth, back and forth. She's picked up on that. I know that they're back and forth, which is why everything tells me I know all I need to know. I need to welcome in something real in real time. All right, I'm going to do that free storytelling, the card pull for our winner, but I'll do that, and the free link will be right there in the description box. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, you guys. Take care. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.